Alright, what's going on, good people? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby. And it is going on 5 o'clock in the morning, and I have literally been up since, like 18 hours ago. Dude, it's been Yu-Gi-Oh! All day, bro. Like, all day. I got a lot of uploads to do, and today I am finishing up on some requests, trying to get my workload. Man, have you ever went to wash the sink, wash the dishes in the sink, and while you're washing them, they just start piling them on, bro? That's my life story in this YouTube game. I can't ever get my workload. Like, it just, I can't lighten it. I'm trying, though, bro. So we got update for Galaxy Eyes. We've got Predaplants. That's a special surprise for you guys. That's the first time. But I've had the Predaplants. Trip this, I've had them since, like, March. And I've never showcased them because they're so hard to play, and I didn't want to showcase you guys a deck that I don't know how to play. So it just, you'll see it in the profile. I explained that already. But we're updating that, we're updating this, we're updating Heralds, we're updating True King, Fire King, Cosmos, we're updating Necros, and we're also updating Dragonides. I'm trying, dude. And just letting you know, everybody's not going to get their update. Everybody's not going to get the profile they're asking for, because there's one of me and 12,000 of you. So this is an update on Galaxy Eyes. I decided to convert it into a 40-card gas build, basically. Essentially, where if it's not a viable combo piece that can either get me out of a bind, or that can be not necessarily self-sufficient, but on a minimalistic 1.5, yeah, like on a 1.5 kind of axis, I guess you could say combo piece, then I just didn't want to play it. And what do you mean by that, 3-6? I mean, like, a card like Galaxy Soldier, while it's not going to accomplish much by itself, its requirement is so simplistic and kind of generically applicable in this playstyle. I play a lot of light monsters. So this essentially is a 1.5 card combo. So you guys are going to catch my drift, like, again. And the same with, like, him. He just requires a valid target. So I wanted to play cards like that where they were not self-sufficient, because they weren't just like a sustaining one card playmaker or starter, but they were nearly there, because like the card that was required to have in your hand, you played like 20 of them. And all the situational cards where like you need a very specific card in your hand for it to be live, I cut those back drastically to decrease brick hands, decrease situational hands where you don't have the valid target, so this is dead. No, we want our hands live. So this is 40 card gas, you guys. This is a Galaxy Eyes deck that's going to be putting a consistent it varies between 2 to 4 interruptions. It can be 5 depending on whether or not you draw this and how many of this that you draw. But it varies between 2 to 4. If you get hand trapped, it's going to be 2. But your standard, basic, even with the weird hand, you're going to be ending on at least 3. So just want to share that with you guys. That's what the deck's going to be doing. You're not being unfair. It's not like this cancerous deck. It's like a Salamangreat deck that's combo assist. It's a combo. It's like a combo-based Salamangreat deck that's going to put out that same board over and over and over and over, but it has insane recovery. It has good tempo switches. It has really good conversions. It also can put up high damage, has great negation, and can protect its boards from targeting and destruction, and just is really strong and durable. So it's like for me personally, it's like a superior Salamangreat. So let's get into the deck profile, you guys, and you'll see what we're working with. Alright, so let's start off with 3 Galaxy Soldiers. So essentially I'm going to show you guys my 12 engine cards. If you see any one of these 12 cards, your hand just became like nuts, okay? So your hand's playable without them, but if you see any one of these 12 cards, your hand just became nuts. Why this card's so important? Because now that you're trying to essentially not go into a Guard Dragon combo, because you're essentially trying to end on Heretic Seal, in addition to all your interruptions, so you can lock them out with Sloth. You basically, or with the Goliath, you basically need access to not only a level 4, but also to Galaxy Eyes. So this accomplishes both, because what you need is to make your rank 4 the Star Leech, but you need his effect to special summon this dragon from your hand. So you take 2 dragons to do what? Make the Heretic Link monster. So this card accomplishes so much. It's insane. Like, you have to play 3 for my build, particularly. I mean, honestly, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to play 3 of any of these, but this is my preference, and I have played this deck for a really long time. Kind of on and off with it. Picked it up, sold it, bought it back, but I have played Galaxies since about, what, 2012 or 2013, and they've always been a really good deck, and it's crazy. All this new support that we got, you would think that you'd see Galaxy Eyes at least on, like, a regional level scene, but I guess it's just, everybody loves Thunder Dragons. So you got these 12 cards. These are very focal. If you open with multiples of them, then your hand's bonkers. And you're guaranteed to play through a hand trap. And there are certain hands that you draw with this deck, like where I've said, if you followed my channel and you've seen all my Galaxy profiles, where I've had hands where I've actually played through 4 hand traps, and impermanence, a Bale, and Effect Baler, and an Ash Blossom. Like, and it's like, that stuff will happen sometimes. It just depends what your hand's looking like. This deck is not a fragile, oh, I get hand trap once and I pass kind of deck. This is like Salamangreat 2.0, or what Salamangreat should have been. It's just, people are going to say Salamangreat's better. Why? Because Salamangreat's popular. This deck is unloved. It doesn't get support. It doesn't get played. Nobody cares about it. So you don't know what it does. So how would you say that it's better than Salamangreat's, or Salamangreat's better than this if nobody plays it? This wouldn't get a better track record than Salamangreat's because it doesn't have the representation. So of course it's not going to top a regionals if nobody's playing it. If there's 0% Galaxy and there's 100% Salamangreat, of course Salamangreat's going to top. So yeah, you guys, that's kind of me just kind of backing myself up so that my opinion doesn't get, so I don't get, I guess you'd say, bashed for my opinion on me feeling that this is like Salamangreat 2.0, you know. This is how I feel about the deck. It's consistent. It puts up the same board over and over and over. It recurs itself. It has 1-card miracle comebacks. Like, its recovery is insane. Its graveyard recovery is off the chain. Like, the recursion is really the biggest strength that this deck has. And of course, you got your big daddy, the boss monster of the deck, 3 Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon. So much cards sitting around him, that's why you play 3. Even if you have cards to search him, you have to have 1 in hand. You need 1 on field, and then you need 1 to search out for your heretic, for your link, so that you can pitch it, pop a monster. So 1 gets used as fodder. 1 has to be engraved somewhere for you to have your knight, and then you need another copy to search from your deck so that you can have a way to interact with this bad boy right here. So if you think playing 3 is incorrect, you might want to reconsider and play the deck a little longer. You gotta play 3. You don't need to play 3 Galaxy Knights though. You definitely can play 2. I have played 3 in certain builds, but formats change, and as formats change, you gotta adapt. And this is one of those cards, like I said, this is not a 1.5 card. This is not like a, having Galaxy Eyes engraved is not as easy. It's not as easy or frequent. Like, it's easier to have a light monster in hand for a soldier play, or to have a valid target on field for him, or to just have a Galaxy or Photon monster on field to summon him, than it is to get a Galaxy Eyes engraved. So he's kind of like a, it's similar to a 1.5, but at the same time, what I mean is like a 1.5 card combo, but at the same time, it's like you have to work harder. So because of that, you just want to search them out when you need them, and it's okay to hard draw them, but it's just not okay to just draw them all the time, like every opening hand. It starts to hurt sometimes. So you definitely want to play 2 Knights for this build. I also play 2 Advancers. Some people might think you need to play 1. Like, I mean, honestly, Galaxy players are very weird with their ratios on Wizard, and they're very, very weird with the ratios on him, and they're really weird with the ratios on him. So I understand why some people feel that you're supposed to play a certain ratio on these cards and other cards, but you're not supposed to do anything. It's player preference, and what works for you works for you. And this card's insane. Because I'm so focused on getting out the heretic Link monster, I need to turbo out my rank 4 and special summon this guy out. So I need cards like him that put free level 4s on field that don't require a normal summon, because normal has to go to Knight or Wizard. So you just need free level 4 specials. So that's why cards like him and Thrasher and Vanisher are just insane. You need both. Like, you can't just have Vanisher and then do the combo. You need Vanisher plus 1 of these to actually do it. So you gotta see the card, man. Like, it's important. So before you bash me for playing 2, consider that I thought everything out thoroughly before putting cards in my deck. We have 1 copy of Brave, 1 copy of Cleric, and 1 copy of Goliath to finish up our monsters. Yes, I still do play Cleric. Yes, it is a good card. No, it's not bad. Brave is really good too. It's not as great as it used to be because I was playing a lot more Photons. But the thing with Brave is he's good when you have cards like these in your hand. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of Photons in this deck. It's not like there's a little bit. It's kind of half and half. But the other thing was, additionally, this card is kind of like one of those contingencies. It's like he's like a replacement when basically you didn't get that certain play to go off, when this got negated or this got negated, or my opponent ashed my search. Like, he's one of those contingency extenders where you don't need him to start your combo off, but if you're in mid combo and your tempo gets, if you get interrupted, or you're kind of like your tempo's awkward because your opponent like Veilered something or anything like that, you need this card. Why? Because he modifies his level. That means he's going to be my rank 4, which sets me up for the heretic, or he's going to be a rank 8 when I need him to. This guy's really good. And also, he can become a 4,000 beater out of nowhere. And I play Goliath over Sloth because he's level 8, and I play trade-ins. And again, he's a good card. Stop hating on my Cleric. Alright, so let's go into the spells, you guys. So we got 3 copies of trade-in for the only draw card. No Desires. Nope. Tried it, and I don't like it. 3 copies of Photon Sanctuary, the best spell in the deck. 1 card combo. It's better after turn 1 because whenever, and this is one of the strong recovery plays of this deck. Like that's how I say, like this deck of recovery. If you compare it to Salamangreat Greats, if you actually, and I would have to say this, you have to place Galaxy Eyes. Like you can't say something like this deck doesn't have good recovery if you don't play Galaxy Eyes, because you don't know the statistics of Galaxy Eyes, you don't know the playstyle, and you don't even know what they do. But if you are Galaxy Eye players, then you can vouch for what I'm saying. This deck's recursion is ridiculous. It's way better than Salad's. This card, your board can be broken. You have no cards in hand. This is, like, you think one Gazelle's going to accomplish what this accomplishes? You can activate this with no cards in hand. Just drew this for your one top deck and have nothing, and you're just riding, like, on the top deck. Make this off the 2 tokens. Use his effect. Grab Galaxy Knight from grave. Normal summon the Galaxy Knight. Bring back Galaxy Eyes, make a rank 8. So you end up getting 2 interruptions plus a search of another copy of this off of 1. So you end up looping them. And that's what I'll do in my grind games is I'll make a Lord. I'll like, my board gets broken. I'll always search this off of Lord on my opponent's turn just in case my board gets broken. And then your board gets broken, let's say it does. You use this. You can do your 1-card combo, your 1-card comeback. And then your Lord, he searches another one of these on your opponent's turn. So the board gets broken. Guess what happens? Same thing. Make another one, bring it back. Board gets broken. Same thing. Make another one, bring it back. You need more of these? Use him to put them back into your deck. Infinite spamming, infinite recursion, never-ending graveyard recursion. It's crazy. Just the fact that like this covers that much ground is insane. So I love it after turn 1. It's a lot more powerful. But it helps your combos going first too. And we also play 3 Galaxy Expeditions. It's a tour guide for the archetype. Really strong. Also helps you to play through hand traps. Because when you special summon a Galaxy Soldier, you discard for cost. They want to hand trap you. They Asher and Permanent Surveiller you. You can play an Expedition and comfortably play around that hand trap, knowing that you can still end on an optimal board. Also, it's hand trap bait. We have 2 Trance, another good card for playing through hand traps. Like that interaction I was explaining to you guys where I played through all those hand traps, it was like, you can, basically, if you open like this, an Expedition, like let's say your hand is like Galaxy Soldier plus Galaxy Eyes, right? And this an Expedition. You can play through 3 hand traps with that hand. Like, easy peasy. You can play through 2, and the third would just be like, okay, he's throwing this card away, and you can still just trance it up after everything and just end on a rank 8. So, don't underestimate this deck's arsenal. Don't underestimate its toolbox. And also, don't underestimate the capabilities. It has the capabilities, man. It has the potential. It's there. What it needs is representation. It just needs people to pick the deck up and play it. It's not going to do anything if nobody plays it. So, Trance is like... It's like a baby soul charge, but essentially it's a 1-card anything you want it to be as far as the archetype goes. It's a 1-card Soul Flare. It's a 1-card any one of your Galaxy rank 8s. It's also a 1-card Star Leech, which is really good because Star Leech protects your entire board from being targeted or destroyed by card effects. So this card is really good, and whenever you get hand trapped and your tempo's low and you're just down to 2-3 cards in hand because they're like Ash Ogre, you're like, alright, Trance. You know, you can still end on boards that way. And this is Monster Reborn. It's searchable and recyclable. And we play 1 Rhoda instead of playing 3 Thrashers, so that way this can be the 3rd Thrasher or the 3rd of the Vanisher, the 4th Vanisher or the 3rd Advancer. So this is better than playing 3 Thrashers essentially. And the only trap in my deck is actually 3 Transmigrations. What does this do? It negates entire chain links. So essentially anything that was activated before this trap gets negated and shuffled. So it's always going to be, you can activate it at spell speed 2 no matter what. So it's always going to be essentially an Infernity Barrier. That's the best way. You can activate it in response to anything if you control a Galaxy Eyes monster. If you can't get a Galaxy Eyes monster on field, I don't know what's wrong. That's why you can play 3 of this and you won't brick. Why? Because every hand puts a Galaxy Eyes monster on field no matter what the hand looks like. So these can become free negations that you don't have to work for. And they're counter traps, they cover ground, and you can also play around like chain link wars, like when your opponent is like reacting with an Infinity and then a Lord, and then they like activate another Widow Anchor, and if you did not have enough fuel to sustain the continuing chain link war, you use that counter trap and you end it all and you shuffle their resources back. It's insane. You can activate this as chain link 8 and punish your opponent and deny 4 effects that they were trying to get to resolve. It's insane. Dante, mill 3 for cost, chain link 1, 2, 3, and 4. Transmigration, negate all 4 of them. This card's insane, you guys. It transcends barriers and it shouldn't even be real. This card should be fake. This is something that should be a fake Yu-Gi-Oh card that shouldn't exist. You can play it from your hand if you have Tachyon too, and it's not once per turn. That's why I play 3. For the extra deck, I played 3 Soul Flares and also 1 of the Heretic. You're trying to get out your Sloth. Why? Because there's a lot more ground that Sloth can cover. For the lack of the negations that this deck can put up, Sloth can help you out with that. I mean the Glide. Because this deck can't put out 5 negates consistently like Pendulums. But when you lock your opponent out to your extra deck, there's a lot of cards that you don't have to negate when they can't access their extra deck. So this card's there just for that. You're just trying to put out a bunch of negates and put out that lock. And then we also play 2 Lords. Not 1, but 2 Lords. The second one comes up a lot. Sometimes you waste your add back from him on your Galaxy Knight, and then you actually need a second copy of this, because this card keeps you in the game. You want to use him to loop your Photon Sanctuaries and your Cleric. When you run out of Sanctuaries, Cleric, put the Sanctuary back, you get the other Sanctuary, and you just keep looping it, and you just never run out of resources. The card's nuts. Can't be destroyed by card effects, negates monster effects, searches your entire deck. Any card in your deck that you want, he searches it. This is the best card to grind with. He's your best friend. He's your go-to boss monster. We have Hope Harbinger. You can make this under the trance restriction. That's why it's one of the best rank 8s to play. And it still counts as a Galaxy monster. We know this. If you guys know about Blue Eyes, we know the Galaxy package. But this belongs to this deck. It's actually a lot better in this deck too, because there's certain effects. Like this card gets certain effects when he has the Galaxy Eyes as a material. He's nuts. He can come back at an 8,000 attack. But these, we should all know what these do. Blue Eyes have been around for a while. And then, of course, we know Nova Infinity. And this card just makes your boards impermeable. So now it's like, why do I have to negate your Widow Anchor when you can't target my cards? Why do I have to negate your Afterburner or your Pankratops when my stuff can't be destroyed? So it's like this can cover the ground of multiple negations. It's like having Dinguritsu in a sense. But it's a little bit better sometimes. Because targeting, like, Dinguritsu doesn't protect you from anchors. So I'll say it like that. So that is the deck profile. Thank you guys so much for watching it. God bless you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content. You guys have a beautiful day and stay positive. Test hands cannot come because I have like 4 more decks profile and it's about to be 6 in the morning and I still haven't went to sleep. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying, man. But peace out, yo.